Hello and welcome. This is Kristen from the Online Selling Show, and I'm here doing a kickoff of where this is going to be basically a timestamp of what I'm expecting in this online selling show for the year of 2025. If you've been along with me for the ride, I say thank you for watching. I hope you're seeing some prosperity in your own business. I hope my experiences have helped you. And what I'm looking for in just putting this video up is giving myself that place to go back to for what I was not just saying it's goals, but laying out some procedures or some foundations of what I'm expecting in the year. One of the things I will say is this is pretty much still going to be the format. There's a reason I do these videos in my car, and there may be some of you that are questioning it, like it's very unprofessional or whatever it may be, but this is what's working for me, because I've said in some other videos that if I had to sit and wait till I did all of my makeup, or I did my hair, or I waited for my husband and my son to not be in the house, or clean certain things so that I could have, it just never happened. I can tell you, in my wholesale business, I've tried for years and it just never worked. And I finally had to, get over myself. I had to realize that if I had the right message, people don't care what I look like. I apologize if that is something that you are judging me for, but I'm not changing that. I have to hope that you're still going to get the message and be able to look beyond how I presented myself. I hope you can look beyond that I'm doing this in the car, but this is where I can feel the most comfortable, that I don't have animals in my face while I'm trying to say something. I don't have like the dryer going off with an alarm. I try to control things like the vehicles around me, that they're not beeping, and in a place where I'm not feeling people walking by and stuff and being uncomfortable, that you could just get as transparent and raw as I can give it for you. This is just the format for now, where it's going to say. That's for one. Two, I tossed and turned back and forth about am I going to shut the business down? Am I not going to shut the business down? When am I realistically going to be running this business? I'm going to say the expectation is, for right now, that probably towards the end of January, maybe for a few weeks in the beginning of February, I'll probably use that time to start getting the listings, the items I plan to list, sorted, because I do have probably about 20 items that were drafted that need photos. Those items I probably will get listed in that time period, and then I want to start kind of grouping, have a way of thinking to do like type things together. But also in that time period, I still want to do that what did I buy and why did I buy it series. I still plan to keep the 4 series going, or 4 playlists going, which is the weekly vlog. Vlog is where I set out in the beginning of the week to say what I have going on and my expectations of goals, with a midweek check-in as to how that's going, and then the end of the week wrap up of did I get things accomplished, what did I get accomplished or not, and go through all of my sales numbers at that point. The second playlist is the one where it's you're shopping with me, and in that, thought about the whole back and forth, like, why have I not gotten a GoPro? I could get one, why have I not? And I've come to the realization that part of the reason is I just don't feel comfortable with thinking that I have something put on me, strapped on me. I very much haven't even taken like a pocketbook or anything. I generally have the wristlet now that I take with my cards and cash and stuff in with me, because I just don't move that way. I already have some different mobility issues. I tried the lanyard and that worked to a point, but then before I know it, I'm taking photos of my bosom here. I may try that again. So I think that's just been part of it. I'm gonna have to keep working on that. I really don't have a solidified answer, maybe, but I think I'm also not feeling that I can videotape. I'm not used to being the center of attention. I've gone into a whole video now about being in business and being raised in the narcissistic environment, and please check out that videos. I think you'll be a little bit surprised at some of the perspective of what I've had to do for myself in that, but I'm not comfortable with being, I don't have in my mind yet, I don't have an answer to somebody to say to me, like, you shouldn't be recording. So right now, I'm just still comfortable in doing the videos, and I apologize if you're not liking that. Hopefully you can get beyond some of the amateurness of my videotaping to get the experiences of what's there and what I'm trying to get through in the message, and help for you to be able to see how I'm able to handle the estate sales. The third is always the what did I buy and why did I buy. I do expect I will be doing them in my house because that is going to allow me to set something up on a tripod. I will be doing those obviously at a time when I can get things like the husband and the son to be out of the house so that I can just have no distraction, because I only expect them to be about once a week. I think that will still work. And then I do expect I'll have the episodes that are the special episodes as things kind of come into my head. So I do expect that those will stay. One of the things I do think I want to add in, though, is that I do have a very analytical mind. I can think of one business in particular that my son and I were having a conversation about, and he's kind of grappling with some of those like questions. He's in college, but where does he look at with wanting to go in the future, investing and stuff. And it led me to think about one business, and they have a lot of dovetailing and how they handle their businesses. And I think it would probably be a good thing for people to be able to start recognizing how people are running businesses. And I'm not talking about what exactly they're selling or their profit margins and stuff. I'm just talking about the ideology of positioning and how they're selling. And that leads me to also like where financially. I have not done the year-end recap of numbers yet. I have an idea as to what I think I've sold. I have an idea as to what I think I can sell. But the realistic piece for me is I may only be selling about 7 months out of the year. I had been talking with my son. I had talked about taking over half of the one shed and moving that stuff closer to the warehouse that we use for our wholesale business, because to me, maybe that would open up a possibility that I don't have to shut the store down for the last 3 months of the year or 2.5 months out of the year. I don't know if that's the answer yet. I will hope that I'm going to be doing a recap or a mid-year cap, that I'll have better answers for you. But even though we're planning to do a liquidation in that wholesale business, every year it just seems that we don't get rid of the initial storage container that I originally rented out years ago. At the current time, we rent 2 storage containers that handle the overflow of stock that comes in for the wholesale business's Christmas season. And then we're usually, during this time of the year, my son doing a bunch of condensing and doing physical inventory is able to get goods out of that second container and retract it back into the warehouse. But we haven't got to a point where we've been able to liquidate out or condense and stuff to get that first storage container stuff back into the warehouse. And I've had that there for a long time. And him and I were talking, and we're both having similar ideas that getting that goods more close to the warehouse would make it much more readily easy to just pull those goods like anything else and handle it the same as the wholesale business. If I feel that we're comfortable and we can get that scenario going, I'm thinking the shed, he's thinking using this storage container that we were not able to get rid of. I'm hoping that when we do the liquidation sale of goods with one of these estate sale companies, that we will get rid of enough that I can get rid of that storage container and be back with just our original warehouse and not have that expense. But my son seems to think that it would be a good idea to use like a third to a half of that storage container and just set it up with these goods and just have it there. We'll see where that leads. But right now, I'm going to have to plan on it being 7 months out of the year, because I'm going to plan on it being that it's closed for that 2.5 to 3 months at the end of the year, and this like month to 2 months at the beginning of the year. And if that's the case, I'm going to say I don't feel that $50,000 is really out of the realm, with a net profit of all those expenses leaving me with $30,000 of income coming in. I will reassess that as we're going along. Again, I have not done maybe that's not that big of a stretch for me. Maybe I did a lot more in this year, just in the 6 months of doing business, that I didn't recognize that I didn't do. We'll see. I'm going to just having to put something on the record. I'm saying 50,000 with 30,000 being of actual income to my checking account. I do know that there's two prongs to this business that really need to be addressed. The one is the bookkeeping part of it. I did get a little, not sloppy, but remiss, not keeping up on the inputting of my data and stuff. And I'm going to have to really designate a time when that's getting done. I had somebody in my life during the time, my early phases of setting up the wholesale business. And there was one woman, she designated like the first Monday of every month. She didn't take emails. She didn't do anything other than her paperwork during that period of time. And being a client of hers, I respected that as a professional. And I'm thinking I may adopt that there will be a definitive time that is there just for anything administrative like that has not been addressed. And it gives me that permission to know that when that date comes, that is all I'm handling. We shall see if I need that date. That is my plan on how I think I'm going to attack that. And the other is I haven't addressed anything marketing-wise. Marketing-wise, I've already made up my mind that I do need to separate the new eBay endeavor from the paper and things like that I was doing with that hobby stuff. I do have other plans for that hobby stuff, and I do believe that needs to be moved over on its own because it's going to free me up to do with marketing for this business. And again, the Christmas does seem to be pretty much what I'm going for. It's not everything. If you've watched me shopping, I've gotten a lot of array between toys and housewares and clothing and stuff. So I don't expect that I'm not going to have just Christmas. But I do have another URL. I do have a store attached to that one. And I think it would really work well with what I'm looking to do. There's somebody else that I've been kind of reintroduced to lately who's been through a lot of this growing during the time period with eBay that I've been out there, and I've been aware of her. And I do see that she's running things with her own website. And I'm thinking that I may do something that's a blended thing where maybe I'm putting stuff on the website and through the marketing of the client purchases on eBay and a website, and through maybe the YouTube shopping, that gets the marketing to the website first, let the stuff sit there for about a week, and then get listed over to the community on eBay, because that'll give my viewers and other buyers that history of being able to get a purchase in as a leg up on the other general public. So that's what I'm kind of thinking, because I know there's like Patreon people out there and stuff, but I'm not thinking that I have to go to that level because I don't know enough about it. And I've been a true believer in stick with what you know. I'm not saying I would never do it, but it's just too much to educate myself on for right now. And I am thinking I need to educate myself on those things that eBay already is giving me. The things I'm entitled to as an eBay seller, meaning the coupons or the marketing, the newsletters, and things like that. Some of it on a defensive side is like the things I should be filing for with returns or whatever. Not that I've really had any returns, but things that I can be utilizing of their tools already. Why am I going to reinvent the wheel? So that is part of what my plan for the coming year was, that when we get to the end of this year, I would like to have an established store without those other goods, using regular marketing, have a very definitive idea as to who the clients are and where they're shopping, not getting package enclosures from my other store that probably is confusing to them, doing some analysis on some other businesses so that you can kind of start to recognize around you as well what people are doing, because just selling on eBay doesn't have to be the only answer. Like I said, I'm looking to bring the website in, but I want to be able to do it on a scalable model, different things like that. And that's where I'm looking to check in with this from. If you have any comments, I ask, please leave them down below. Any questions, just keep everything constructive so that we can all learn from each other. I found that when you negative or pull down and rip down people, it just doesn't work well in being educational. It just starts to become defensive and confrontational. And I am really going to ask, could you please hit the subscribe button? It would do me the favor, help me grow the channel. I would love to have this channel monetized in 2025. So that means I need to have over 2,000 subscribers. And where is it? 1,000 subscribers. It's 1,000 subscribers. I would still like to have 2,000. I'm just reaching big. Anyway, I would like to say bye for now, and I will catch you on the next one.